Hey guys, welcome to a new video in the walkthrough. In this episode I'll be building some buildings and doing some grants so we can advance a bit more to actually opening our prison. Let's take a look at our grants. The first two grants I always like to accept is Administration Center, Basic Detention Center. This will tell you to build parts of your prison already and also your main office area you're gonna have for your staff. Now the way I've designed these cells, I cannot actually have an individual shower, but what I can do is assign one of these cells as a shower, make it a temporary shower, put a shower in there, and then remove everything else. And also I can just assign this as a cell once I'm done. So we'll do that in a little bit. I always like to start with building 4 offices and allowing my staff to build doors into every one of them. I'm gonna start doing that. While they do, I am going to build my utility room as well, so I can actually see what's going on inside of my buildings, instead of that's just all dark, can't see anything. Okay, these finished building, I'm gonna put in walls in between, and for now I'm going to make this entire thing an office, but once the walls are in, the rooms will split off into separate offices, and I'm gonna put in the required needs for every office, just the basic stuff, nothing too fancy yet. As you can see, the utilities room is finished, so I'm just gonna put in the power station. Just gotta put a wire in every room so the lights actually turn on. And next up, what I'll do is I'll actually edit the plan slightly, so we'll have a door there. So they'll pass through the reception, then into the holding cell, and then they go into the prison. That way I could even make another hallway so they don't need to pass through here at any time, because they shouldn't have to. So let's actually just build this entire area. Put in a few chill doors where we need them, just on the outside wall for now. And I'm going to add a power wire. As you can see, I've hired a warden. With the warden you unlock the bureaucracy tab, in which you can do research to different branches. The first branch you need to research is finance, so let's do that. He's gonna now do that. As you can see, he's researching, and he's gonna research finance, which is part of the grant we're doing right now. If researching something is part of your grant, it'll show up here in your grants tab in your to-do list, saying how far it's done. Once it's done, it'll be crossed off. Okay, so as you can see, this building has been built, but the lights are kind of off. So I also always like to cancel. You can do that by right clicking, and like to place in lights by myself if that's necessary. 2 lights per room is often enough. Then I'm gonna put in the middle walls and also the doors, and I'm going to assign the rooms. Now once again the rooms will come up saying, hey, I need this, put this in please. It's really not that difficult to do. Just find the stuff in the objects tab, which is always highlighted if you hover over a room. Say I zoom out, click on the object, it's not gonna select anything, but once I zoom into reception, it's gonna tell me what things you could put in, what would work, and same for every single room in the game. As you can see, finance has been researched, so now we can hire an accountant and finish that grant. Note, grants will not finish if you're on pause. It's always unpause by pressing 1, 2, 3, or 4 on the keyboard, or pressing spacebar. Spacebar will put you on the previous speed you were on. Pressing 1, 2, 3, or 4 will put you on a specific speed. Next grant I'm going to accept is probably the long-term investment. This will cost you a bit of money, but once you actually start opening your prison, it's actually going to come in quite handy because you have a bit of money. Also, always research extra grant, bank loan, just all the stuff. It's not that expensive, you can easily research. Gonna cost a bit, but you'll earn it back by grants. Next up for the detention center grant is going to be the shower, the yard, the kitchen. So I'll start building this cell block together with the canteen that is right there. This is going to be the kitchen. Now if you have foundations that kind of overlap with walls, never put one on the wall because it'll destroy it. Just drag along like so, and it'll extend the foundation where it's going to be built slightly. And they're going to start building. I would like to put in a jail door for the canteen. I just like that better. It gives me a bit of control and they can't just pass in whenever. Like there's always a bit of security they have to go through to go in, so they can't just go in to mess stuff up or to mess up each other. I just like it as a bit of extra security. Now your holdings will come up saying that there's no canteens accessible. Just wait until your canteen is finished. It'll go away right away if it's close enough. But usually that's not a problem unless you've put your canteen right over here and there's a million buildings in between. But this distance should be fine. I finished extra grants, so I'm going to accept another grant. I'm going to go for the inmate health and well-being. It's a short one, it gets me a bit of money. I just have to put in a medical center. Now, if you look closely, you'll see that there's a bit of paper here. It's a notebook page. These are pretty much the game's collectibles. You can click it. It'll give you what it says on the page, and then you can just press back to see how many you have. Press back again and again to get back into the game. But it's a fun bit of things you could click on and collect if you're just looking around, really. The kitchen's been finished building. I just need to put in the items. The sink is always a bit of an annoying little guy to put in, but it has to be there. I always like to put 2 cookers back to back, fridge in the front, and usually they'll work just fine. Now for the medical ward, I'm going to put that guy right here. Also, don't forget to hook up your utilities. And you can see that the lights are kind of in an annoying place. Just cancel them, and you have freedom to put them wherever you want. I like to put 1 in every cell and then like 2 on the hallway, which usually would be enough to light the thing nicely up. Then of course, don't forget every wall that you have to manually put there now. This would have been different if you used planning. I just like to do it this way, so I know for sure everything goes right. Planning can be a tad annoying to use the build tool in there. I just like to do it myself. It's a bit of work, but you'll get used to it if you do it a lot. Obviously don't forget the power, and then just give them a bit of time. Now as I said, I'm going to put the shower just in one of these guys. Just needs a shower head, and that guy's good to go. Canteen. Super easy, just assign this guy as the canteen. Put in the necessary objects, and you're good to go. Now serving tables I like to go for 2 usually. It's plenty for this cell block alone. I could probably fit 10 more prisoners in here without any issues. Now the yard may be a bit of an annoying one for some of you. I'm going to put it outside of here. But it says it needs to be behind a secure door. As you can see, I don't have the fence around yet. So I'm going to put the fence around right now. And once they finish doing that, you're going to see that it should go away, as it's now a secure area. You can see I've skipped this area here. I know I'm going to put a wall here because I want to make this all buildings and fences and buildings together look very ugly. Infirmary right here. Just gotta put in a single medical bed. That's in the corner. We'll put it there. That's center. But now I'm just waiting for the workmen to finish up this entire fence, and then we should be good on the yard side of things. And then we just need to hire 2 people. But I'm going to show you that in a little bit once they've finished. As you can see, I've added a bit of planning here. This is for an office. I'm going to add a bit of planning right here. This is where the psychologist office will be. I just like to put this next to the infirmary because it's both health related. So for the yard, make sure that you actually block off every single exit there is. I forgot that I didn't have a door here yet, so this was technically a open area. I'm also going to close this off so that this is really just prison and not anywhere near the staff. Now for the 2 different people you have to hire 2 guards and 2 cooks. I like to instantly pause and fire them both because I don't need their expense yet. Did it cost me a bit of money? Yes. Is it going to cost me more for now? No. Also, free grant is here. I like to cover cell block A now. Nice bit of advance money. And I can literally just pull this over and have these cells. I'm going to do a few dorms just so I meet the requirement of 15. Let's go with 4 dorms. So this is 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and you need 15 for the requirement. I like to make every single cell the exact same. A bed there, a toilet there, and the shower next to it. Definitely always put a drain where the shower is, so that if they decide to smash it, it's not going to flood the entire cell. That being said, might as well put the drain under the door of the cell. Yes, you can do that. It won't have any security issues. And now they're just gonna have to build it. You can definitely already put the doors in. I'm going to make this orange because it looks fancy. And I'm definitely putting in medium security. These will open on their own because it's in front of a cell, so the door will know that if there's no prisoner in there, just be open. Nothing you need to do with that. And let's also build this Psychologist Office. I actually like to make this slightly bigger, just so that there's enough room for some couch you're gonna need in there for the therapy. Definitely not one of the early programs you should start. I always like to start with parole. I always like to start with the foundation education and also the workshop safety course. Now once the door is in, it's going to notice, hey, you've built a cell or a dorm. I'm going to take up the percentage you finished the grant. And this is just going to finish on its own. Now I've already built a few offices here. So once I hire the psychologist, he may not want to take this office. So what you could simply do is unroom these and just make this an office, put him there, and you can make these offices again. No big deal there. As you can see, we finished another grant. Let's accept the next, which will be visitation rights. I like to either choose visitation rights or prison maintenance. Prison gets dirty fast, so getting that one early is definitely a good idea. For now, this will work just fine. All I have to do is build you. I'll make these up to about, let me actually see, up to about here. I'm going to make that concrete wall, just so that building that foundation is not going to be as ugly as it would be, or as annoying to replace all the fences after. Just, I feel like it's a bit nicer to have it already walled up, instead of having to do that later when it's already done. Now let's build this office. I'm going to obviously click office, make a wall, and just put the usual in. But for this office, there's going to be something extra that will be wide sofa. If you want to start the program where it's the psychologist talking to his prisoners, you're going to need couches, you're also going to need a common room and chairs. Common room doesn't need a lot of stuff. Game will actually tell you what it needs. Except for sometimes the pool table is not highlighted for some reason, even though it definitely needs to be there for the grant. So in my opinion, it should be highlighted, but it's not. Or sometimes 2 TVs, 5 phone booths. Am I missing anything? I am not. Now, if a foundation looks like this, you can't actually put a door in, say, here or here. You have to put it on that one. It's annoying. It's a bit tedious to put a door there and then have to move it over. But it is what it is. Can't change it. So you just have to deal with it. Anyway, this has been the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've taken notes about what I've done to build the prison for now. Definitely start out with a few grants I've done. Really gives you a good base to build on for your prison. Make sure to tune in for this video to watch the previous episode if you haven't. And make sure to check this video on how to plan a bit more. Also make sure to subscribe.